folks, welcome back to another episode of the Liverpool playthrough with me, Dr. Benji FM. If you're enjoying the series so far, drop a like and let's get stuck in then to today's episode. Now, since last episode, nothing's happened much apart from a bit of scouting that I've been doing. Left backs, centre backs, a few wingers as well, maybe some attacking midfielders. Basically the areas that I think we need strengthening the most, and I've not clicked forward yet, but this is the day after the Burnley game. You might remember the win we just had last episode, and now this is the time we're going to have a little look through and see who we can see in terms of bringing in potentially a left back. The guy that's really caught my eye recently has been Alex Grimaldo. In terms of attributes, he's got everything I look for in a left back. Lacks a little bit of strength, currently out with an injury, but if we could get him playing for us, get him fit, get him learning English as well, I think this could be the guy that might set our hearts aflutter. Now, he's currently got a £52 million release fee, which is an awful lot of money. We'll go in at sort of 15, 20 million. What I was going to say, look at 12 million, see what they say to that, and come back. A lot of people asking why I'm not suggesting terms. I've always found that, like, if you offer a flat fee, clubs have to then think, okay, this is quite a large flat fee, we'll have to consider it. Whereas if you suggest terms, ordinarily, you'd probably end up paying over the odds because they set a marker, and because they've set that marker, you've gone, oh, okay, so that's how much they want then. If I get anything less than that, it's a good deal. When actually, sometimes it won't be. Right then, Alex Teller's another left back, not quite as good as Grimaldo and not currently interested in joining. Kolasinac, that might be said correctly, might be said incorrectly. He looks like the one that is possible to bring in. Great tackling, really good marking, heading's decent as well, physically very good. Mentally, a little bit suspect in a few areas, positioning being the main one that is a big concern. 11 positioning's not so good. I mean, let's compare that to Moreno actually. His positioning, 10, not good either. Both defenders, not that good at positioning. On the other side, is Klein better at it? Yeah, you look at Klein, 14 positioning, far better for a fullback. And I mean, you think about how many balls are whipped into back posts and the marking's not quite there. Okay, we'll keep going through then. Danny Rose is someone that I'm actually very interested in getting. Like, if we could get Danny Rose in, I feel like that would be a really, really good, clever signing. To get, like, arguably the best English left-back of the time would be really, really good. We'll go in quite large. We'll go 24 million, see what they say to that. We're actually going to play 2 matches today. We've got Fulham in the League Cup, and then we've got a Premier League game coming up after that against, remind me, Bournemouth. So we're going to try and play rotated squad in the Fulham game and then have a full-strength side out for the Bournemouth game in the Premier League. That's the idea for today's episode. A few other players we were looking at, you might have noticed Bernat run through there, as is Andrew Robertson. Just having a look, just seeing what's around. Teixeira as a more attacking option. Quite a lot of money you'd cost from China. 43 million, I think, is his release fee, so we could get him in for that, but not sure it's worth it. Now, Van Dijk, a player that I've not really looked at or talked about yet at all, because he's not in my interested in a transfer section. If you obviously you go here and you see the realistic transfers, he wasn't in the realistic transfers. I like how many realistic transfers are injured, by the way, which is kind of strange. But yeah, Virgil van Dijk, is this the kind of player, again, Southampton player, but the kind of player that would set us aside from the other teams in the division? Would we have a really good centre-back partnership, even with sort of the Lovren Van Dijk or the Matip Van Dijk, which I probably prefer? I think we'll put a little feeler bid in. We'll see what they say. He's very highly valued right now. We'll go in at 32 million. We'll see what they say and hope to hear back very, very soon. I was looking at Glick from Monaco as well. Doesn't know that's going to happen. There's 1 or 2 there as well. I also put an inquiry in for 1 or 2 players. If we bring this up here, you'll see inquiry went in for Suso just to see if there was any like wiggle room for Milan there. I think he's grown a lot since his time at Liverpool, and as another option in wide areas, I think he'd be really, really good. If you can get it for around the 25 million mark, I think I probably would do. Anyway, right then, let's carry on. Fulham in a few days. Thank you so much for all the feedback you're leaving in the comments, by the way. I've never seen so much feedback in comment sections as San Jose goes to PSG. Bit of a shame, but I imagine he's on quite a lot of money, and £30 million is a big amount to pay. 88,000 a week, not too bad actually. Probably something I would have gone for, but I don't know. He seems to want to play midfield more than centre back, which is a bit annoying. But as I was mentioning, thank you for the support on the series. A lot of feedback in the comment section, which is really good to see. People liking the videos as well, which is wonderful. And yeah, Milan have come back with the negotiated Suso offer. I think we're just gonna, for now, I mean, I don't even want to negotiate. They've gone to 52 million. I don't think it's worth it. We'll say no for now. We may go back in later in the window. There's not too long left. We'll get these 2 games in today and still have a little bit of room come the end of the window. The Danny Rose bid has also been rejected. We're going to push this up to 28.5. I'm going to test Spurs' mettle. I'm going to see how much they would accept for Danny Rose. He'll be on a huge contract, I've no doubt, but he would completely solve that left-back problem for a few years to come. Grimaldo is another one I'm really interested in, so we're going to continue to make this bid a little bit higher. I'll probably pay up to 30 million for a really good left-back. Van Dijk's been negotiated to 61 million by Southampton, which is an awful lot of money. We're going to bring it right down to 38 off of that and see what they say. I'm probably going to go to 45 with Van Dijk. We'll see how that goes as we continue forward. Now we're back a week later. Jesus Murillo. A lot of people saying Jesus Murillo isn't the right choice for Liverpool, and which is interesting. He can't speak English. People were wary of that. I did mention that last time we came around to signing him. Do we then pull the trigger on this? It's 20.5 million of the 81 million pound budget that we currently have. There's a bit of a sign-on fee there. The appearance fee is pretty large, so he's probably on around £75,000 a week, whether he plays or not. Got the clean sheet bonus in there, which I think is probably reasonable. The question is, again, is he the right option for us? Is he someone we can maybe come back to come the end of the window if we get a little bit desperate? The answer is yes. So for now, we're actually going to cancel the transfer. We may well go back in the future, but for us right now, I don't think he's a big enough upgrade on Lovren, especially sort of as a long-term option, because we have to play this as if we were playing another season, right? We may well do. There's going to be a poll at the end of the series whether we do an extra season or we change clubs. Not within the same save, just to clarify. Or maybe within the same save. I don't know. I've not thought about that. Right then. We've got a press conference here. I'm just gonna send my assistant to this because we've got 2 matches today. We don't really have time for this. Right, continuing forward. Grujic is continually wanted, but that's not going to happen considering I would quite like him to play against Fulham today. Right, okay, first game coming up. Van Dijk's been negotiated again, 55 million. I'm going to go to 41 and see what they say and continue to negotiate. That might be the kind of offer they accept. Right, there's going to be a lot of squad rotation coming in today's episode, and I'm going to talk you through the majority of it. So ideally, we want to get all the players that aren't current starters in the squad for this game and then save our first team players for the first team game against, the Premier League game, I should say, against Bournemouth at the weekend. So straight away, we're going to bring in Wijnaldum and Milner in the centre, and this might be the sort of time where it's almost worth looking at another formation, a more attacking sort of maybe striker-esque formation with a guy in behind. And in fact, we are going to do that now, actually. So if we can just go onto the second tactic screen, we'll change the formation to something like this. If we just make it a little bit wider. Overall, I want to keep it largely the same as the tactic we've currently got. So wingers on either side, and then I want a shallow striker in behind. But I want to be able to put a forward up there as well, an advanced forward alongside a deep line playmaker in the middle on defence and box to box. So role-wise, we stay the same. Right, let's continue going through then. Divock Origi is going to be the guy I would like to start up top for us today. Kevin Stewart's an interesting one because we could have played him maybe in the middle. And in fact, because of our lack of wingers, we'll put Wijnaldum on the left-hand side, bring Kevin Stewart into the middle, switch him and Mill around, and have our midfield looking like that. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold coming in for Klein at right back. Lucas and Lovren might get the games today, actually, because neither of them have played recently. So we'll get Lucas and Lovren. Obviously, Lucas not a first choice at centre-back, but can play there, so we'll get him involved. And actually, this gives me a little bit of a conundrum with Grujic. And actually, what we'll do then, you'll be delighted about this, James Milner's going to go in at left-back, a position you've obviously seen him play quite a lot this season. And we're going to bring in Karius as well at centre-back. And by and large, that is quite a lot of rotation for the side. We've got Shiojo out there, actually, as well. Maybe we'll put Ojo on the right-hand side for Coutinho. Maybe the other way round. Maybe Mane on the right, Wijnaldum through the middle. I think that's probably about right. It's a very much rotated side. In terms of instructions, I'd quite like to play similar ones because I think in terms of a system, it works quite well. So yeah, we'll do that actually. So if we go back to this one, I think it was retain possession, wasn't it? It was exploit the right flank. Do not, I've completely forgotten what it was. What was it a minute ago? It was look for overlap, of course, and then fairly wide. So we'll put all of those on fairly wide there, and then look for overlap there. Okay, so it's a very similar system, but deploying a striker. Of course, if we get injuries to our guys in the shallow striker roles, this is the kind of thing that we'll want to flick to. In terms of familiarity, it's a bit of a problem that they're not all familiar with it, but as it's a largely rotated side, that shouldn't matter too much. Right, let's go into today's game. Hopefully, it should still be in 3D. So let's crack on. I'm excited. I think Fulham, interesting game. Obviously, a decent championship side, having a pretty good season in real life. But the sort of game that you would expect even a second string to win and play quite well in. Right then, let's go forward. They're playing very, very defensively. Carney's the guy to look out for in the centre. Quite a creative force in the middle. Chris Martin up front, of course, scored goals at championship level. A bit of a step up for him today, though. And all the opposing instructions look quite good. Passionately, I expect nothing but a win from this match. I'm going to try and instill the confidence across our squad. We had a great result against Burnley in the league, and now we're looking to follow that up with a good result against Fulham. as the teams walk out. It's at Anfield as well, which obviously gives us a slight advantage. We'll know the pitch a little bit better, but again, these players haven't played so much this season, so I don't know how much of an impact that'll actually have. As the games begin, Chris Martin chipped it all the way back to his centre-back, which is curious. I did mention in a few episodes ago that I'd be answering questions in regards to things you've left. I've got a list now ready to answer, but with 2 games today, there isn't really that much time to go through. I think in episodes where, obviously, we don't have a transfer window to deal with, that'll be a time where I can integrate a few questions that you've got and you might want answering. Again, leave them in this comment section if you like as well, and we'll go through a few more. I'll add some more to the list, we'll say. Right, 10 minutes gone in this game, and so far, no goals scored. Obviously, we're playing a different system. In terms of personnel, I think we've got, defensively, we're very experienced. Milner, Lovren, Lucas Leiva's in there as well. Karius is obviously, he's been around in the German leagues. He's done it there. Midfield's a little bit more inexperienced. Kevin Stewart and Grujic. We're starting with Mane, of course, the other one player that will probably go through into the Premier League game as well. So we'll probably look to take him off if we've got a bit of a lead. Maybe put Origi out there, bring Danny Ings into the mix. I'm hoping Danny Ings is on the bench. I'm not actually sure if I left him there. Throw in though, even. Grujic puts the ball in towards the back post. Mane gets up, and I think it was saved onto the post and cleared. First chance of the game. Not the most exciting highlight ever, but a chance. Danny Ings is on the bench, so we can make that change. I thought he was. At half-time then, I've got to say, a pretty dull affair. Divock Origi on a 6.4, not really doing anything that good. We're going to get more attacking in the second half, though. I'm going to get aggressive. I'm far from pleased with what I've just seen. I think against a side such as Fulham, we should at least have a goal under our belt. What's Kevin Stewart's preferred role? A ball-winning midfielder, which is interesting. I will change him to that then, supporting ball-winning midfielder, and I'll take Grujic off the more defensive role. And actually, I'll put Stewart on the more defensive role. That makes more sense. As long as we've got one of them playing slightly more reserved. I'm going to make the change early as well. We're going to get Danny Ings on for Mane and get him up top. Origi on this right-hand side then. We could change a few things. We could go to a more sort of diamond-y formation with the players out there at the moment. But I don't think we will. I think we'll stay with what we've got. And, I'm not the greatest first half, but going to the second half, I'm hoping for a bit better. Let's put it that way. Lucas straight away with the most awful ball out of defence we've ever seen. So we're at the point now, 50 minutes in, where it's occurring to me that this goes to extra time. Now, we have the decision to make, of course. Do we bring on a player to come on and change the game? Someone like Firmino, Coutinho, maybe Keita Balde. There's options there for us to come on and maybe influence this. At the same time, you don't want it to run to extra time, and they're essentially playing an hour of football. So you've got to try and manage this relatively well. We'll wait till 70 to make any sort of changes. Fulham actually have largely been in the game quite a lot. As there's another highlight, we haven't seen very many of them, but there's one here, Tim Ream at the back for Fulham. I get to I feel like my knowledge of football is actually quite good. You might not think it if you watch all my videos. You might think because I pronounce things wrong occasionally, I'm not that sharp on it. But actually, Stefan Johansson looks like he's fouled someone. We've got a free kick in a dangerous area, but more importantly, second yellow card for Johansson, and Fulham are down to 10 men. It looked like they're making a change immediately. And, we've got a free kick, dangerous area. Wijnaldum's on it, strikes the free kick. Actually, doesn't strike it, more crosses it in. It comes back out to him on that side. Ball put in first time. Not a good delivery. Doesn't find anyone. But now Fulham down to 10 men, which is interesting. It would give space for someone. Oh, my dearie me. Okay, right. 50 minutes to go. We'll pause it there. I think this is the kind of moment where we have to try and be a little bit... This is a problem, though. Do you want to try and have a little bit more space? I think pulling this guy back to a playmaker role rather than shallow striker might work out quite nicely. And I think we'll bring Coutinho on. He could be the guy to unlock the door. We're actually going to make Origi far more attacking now. They've got no attacking threat, so we'll keep these guys pushed up more so than they were. Same goes for Stewart as well. No real need to have them playing defensively. They haven't got a striker on the pitch, as you can see there. They're not playing anyone in the forward area. Just going to make sure that doesn't change in the next sort of 5 minutes. It doesn't seem to be... No. Okay. So this is what they're playing. We come back to the game then, highlight ensuing. Milner knocks it on, Coutinho challenges, and it falls maybe to Ojo. Great chest, great control as he runs forward. He's got Ings to his left-hand side, his right-hand side even. Finds Danny Ings. Danny Ings with a strike on goal and scores that goal. Finally, Ojo in a more advanced area. Ings gets the goal for us. Obviously a player that's rarely played for Liverpool Football Club since he signed from Burnley. But gets his goal in the cup game, and maybe this is the competition where he can maybe push for a Premier League place. I mean, we're not playing a striker in the system that I'm employing in the Premier League, but if he carries on getting goals, maybe it'll be an option for us. Maybe especially off the bench as well. It's great to know you've got strikers that can score. And with about 10 minutes to go, that's a really good way to hopefully end this game. You're hoping. I mean, Grujic is struggling out there for fitness. I'm going to bring Henderson on for Grujic. and just hopefully see out this last 10 minutes. I don't want any funny business. Bring the captain on. Just keep it steady. Let's not have too many problems. Let's just keep it happy. Obviously, this episode is going to be a little bit longer today, but people did say don't have the League Cup as just one game. Try and involve a Premier League game with it. As the time ticks down, then 10 seconds or so remaining. Henderson in the area. It's going to come out to, who's that, Ojo, into Stewart. And that should be that, folks. A good win, a solid win. Professional job by our team. Obviously, a rotated side, but have done pretty well. 1-0 at Anfield then against Fulham, who didn't play too badly. Obviously, the red card kind of killed the game. A very nice victory. Well done. At half-time, it wasn't good enough. But at the end of the game, though, looking good. It's nice to see that Will Griggs in the top goal scorers. Right then, Bournemouth in a few days. So we'll carry on going forward. Of course, there'll be a little bit of transfer business in between that as well, you would imagine. Question from the journalist. I'm reportedly interested in Virgil van Dijk. Yes, I'm not going to talk about transfer stories today, though. I'm going to leave it keep it in the air. Speculation is a must. I don't want Southampton to think we're going to play over the odds, so we'll try and keep stum on that for now. Okay, that was the game against Fulham. Not really too much to analyse there. We got the win, rotated side with a different system as not from normal. So I've got to be pretty happy about that. The draw for the next round sees us play Sunderland. So that'll be in a few episodes' time. We'll pair that up with the Premier League game. It'll be Stoke or Hull. And in terms of our system, it's worth putting it back to what it was before. We'll quick pick this because ordinarily it will put it almost identical to what I actually want it to be. Very close. Not quite identical though. Obviously we want Coutinho to be there and then Keita Baldo on this left-hand side. Everything else, though, looks to be as was, which is perfect. That's just what we wanted it to be. Wijnaldum can come onto the bench for Lallana, who's still not quite fit, but it'll be good to have him back. Offers us some really good depth in there. Southampton have come back 51 million. I think, is he enough of an upgrade to justify the price tag when you've got Dejan Lovren, obviously, who's doing or can do a relatively good job? Obviously, the first choice partnership, as things stand, will be Lovren and Matip. We played Klavan more recently because Lovren was out with a little injury. I'm going to reject this offer. I'm not going to go in for 51 million. I don't even really want to negotiate around. I think I said 45 before. Actually, I think that's too much as a loan offer comes in for Moreno. Again, until we bring in a left back, it's not worth it at this stage. We're still really waiting on a few of the bids we've put in to come back. I'll see what they made of them. A few tactical summary bits there that I'm going to ignore for now. And the game's going to have a little save. So we'll have a little chat. So far, I think the save's going all right. I think in terms of management mid-game, we're doing okay. Results have been all right. Obviously, picking up a draw in the opening game wasn't great. But so far, so good. Should we just quickly have a little check-in on Daniel Sturridge? 3 goals from 2 games. Perfect. Yeah, that's what I want to see. Not... okay, for Lallana, we're going to give him 60 minutes in reserve games until he's fit. We're also... do we make Stewart available? I'm going to give him 45 minutes. He's not a starter for me. So it'd be daft to not have him playing at all. We might as well try and keep him fresh, keep him fit, playing under 23, under 18 games. I think it's just under 23 games, actually. Right then, Bournemouth coming up. No time at all. Straight back into another game. Obviously, you've got Coutinho and Firmino leading the line, Mane on the right, Balde on the left, Emre Can and Henderson in the centre, Klein, Matip, Klavan, Moreno, and Simon Mignolet is back in goal for us today. Obviously, clean sheet for Karius, so the rivalry between those two will continue. We're on control fluid, and we're going to go straight into the game. Hopefully we can continue to understand the tactic, the tactical familiarity. I think on this game in particular is very important. At this point, we're not really comfortable with it. So as we go into this game against Bournemouth, lots of work to do. Afobe, Wilson up front. We've got Pugh, Wilshere, Arter and Gradle in the middle. Daniels, Francis, Cook, Smith, Boric in goal. I mean, by and large, it's a team we should beat. Of course, Jordan Ives on the bench for Bournemouth, a player that Liverpool sold in the summer. I'm confident. I just think they've got a few dangerous areas. Afobe and Wilson up front, very quick, very aggressive like strikers in the way that they're going to give problems to our back line. But I'm going to go again with I expect nothing but a win from this match. Although away at Bournemouth, I still think in the Premier League it's a game that we should be winning. Of course, in real life, I think it was 3-3 this game as the teams come out. I'm pretty happy, though, with the way the system worked against Burnley, and it should be a relatively similar game to that. You expect Bournemouth to play a little bit more football, don't you? But we'll see. Right then, as the game kicks off, Afobe gives it to Wilshere and they get the game underway. You think about some of the signings Bournemouth made in the summer, they're probably going to be a bit more possession-y based than they would have been previously. Jack Wilshere, of course, a major part of that. That's actually the first highlight of the game, and they're coming forward with it. Gradle, another pacey striking option, puts it against our defender, and they win an early corner. The assistant gives it, and don't see him doing his job, I guess we'll say, as Wilshere is going to put in this corner, floats it towards that post. Pugh gets up, Clavan and Henderson between them get it away, and Cook on that side will let it run out, and it will be a throw-in. That's probably going to be the highlight over, though, if I know Football Manager. Yes, indeed it is. Again, a lot of people are saying that 3D is quite a nice option, quite a nice change from before, so we're going to stick with it for now, as they're winning the ball in the middle, not something you'd expect to happen. 10 minutes in, Arta finds a Phobie. They've got options either side. He tries to play it out to Gradle and does so. Problems down this left-hand side, obviously, because he's beating Moreno down there. As a Phobie gets it and smashes it into the back of the net. Clavan not really close to him. We'll check it out again from the reverse angle. Early stages in this game, not good. They've got down that right-hand side and, well, our left-hand side, swung the ball in, and at this point here, you want Clavan ideally to be a little bit closer to a Phobie who gets an easy shot. Like he gets, it's far too much time to pick his spot and finish. Mignolet's goalkeeping is embarrassing, but not good. Not good at all. Hopefully we get back into the game. I'm not going to change anything as of yet, but again, we're not really stringing passes together in the final third at all. And the ball's put forward to a Phobie, and this is what I'm worried about. The pace of the Bournemouth attack. It's a good save by Mignolet in a one-on-one situation. Another corner for Bournemouth, and so far, you've got to say they look the better team. All we've seen so far is them attacking us, really, and us giving the ball away. Wilshere puts in the corner. Hopefully this is cleared. It is cleared. And I'm going to try and relieve a little bit of pressure. We're going to go to a more counter-attacking style. We're not controlling the game at this stage, so there's no point in trying to continue to do it. 15 minutes in, switch it up, go on the counter-attack, let Bournemouth have the ball as they're playing all right, and then try and hit them on the break. Hopefully they commit too many men forward, and that'll give us a chance to strike back. So far, not good, though. Not a good performance from us. Half an hour on the clock now, and it still remains 1-0 Bournemouth. It could be time for a little change in the middle. We're going to make Shan a little less defensive in the middle and try and get him and Henderson supporting the forward line a little bit more. We're not really seeing enough from them. We're playing a fluid system, and we're not, like, I don't know what we're doing currently. We're not really creating anything. We've had shots, but nothing in terms of a highlight that we've actually seen. We've not really seen too much. I've said to show me something else in the second half, which, I mean, what else can you say at this point? That seems like the only thing you can say. What we're actually going to do is change. We're going to do something a little bit drastic here. We're going to put Coutinho and Firmino as advanced playmakers, the pair of them, and then have Mane and Balde as attacking wingers. So all of a sudden, the point of attack is those wide areas, and the midfield too drop a little bit deeper. A lot, like maybe too many cooks in the middle now. We're going to see how it works. The idea being, if it doesn't work after 20 minutes, we can bring a striker on to go ahead of Coutinho or Firmino, or indeed just put Firmino up front and see how we adapt to that. Although I'm sticking with this 4-2-4 formation, at no point am I going to just go, this is everything now, we don't change. If it's not working, it'd be stupid to try and stick with something and just force it through. It's early stages in the tactics, so you've got to think about that. Time has ticked away already, 25 minutes left on the clock. We're going to have to bring on a striker. Danny Ings, he's the man in form. Do you bring him on? I mean, Firmino and Coutinho, neither of them are having particularly good games. Firmino's on a 6.7. Mane's having a shocking game as well, to be fair. I think we might make a double change now. Origi played in the week, played all right. We'll bring him on. And then it's Coutinho or it's Firmino. You've probably got a better player in Coutinho for this advanced playmaker role. Actually, no, I'll tell you what, in terms of the grapefruit, I disagree with that. Advanced forward, Danny Ings is going to come on. It's a double change. We're actually going to... We're going to keep it as is. You know, we've got 3 attacking players out there. Firmino's going to be part of the midfield now. 20 minutes to go. Can we get a winner? Well, not a winner. Can we get an equaliser? Well, I thought winner. The winner would be great, but it's not happening so far. Still nothing coming. We're going to have to go attacking as well. Final 10 minutes. Can we find an equaliser? It's been a really... I mean, talk about a disappointing game. Highlightless game. Oh, dearie me. I mean, what do you say about this? Bournemouth 1, Liverpool 0. I mean, we're going to have a look at where it's going wrong, where it's breaking down. This episode's getting longer and longer, it seems. Simply put, not good enough at all. I don't know what has happened. No one's played well. Let's face it, we've given up that one chance early in the game. We've had more possession, but, I mean, what is it worth at this point? It leaves us in 10th position. Let's take a look then at some of the analysis stuff. Average position-wise, of course. Now, with the system we play... This is going to be interesting. Without the ball, we play relatively what you'd expect. I should say ignore 28 for now, which is Danny Ings, and ignore 27, which is Origi. Try and focus on everyone else, by and large. In fact, actually, maybe they've changed it on about 70. And so this is what we started with. So, in terms of what we've got going on there, that is by and large the system I want us to play. The issue is we're not working well enough within these triangles between Klein, Mane, Henderson, and with Chan, Moreno, and Keita Balde. Maybe we're not, in fact, getting enough forward play. That's without the ball, obviously. So we're sitting relatively deep. With the ball, again, we're too congested here. I mean, that is the major problem for me. We're too congested in the middle. It's very much a case of too many cooks. Now, there's two things we can do. We can either play one of them as a striker and have it a little bit more fluid, or we quite simply just drop back Jordan Henderson and give these two more room to manoeuvre and trust that they'll do that. I think that's the other option. So there's two things we can look at going into our next game. In terms of gaining possession, where a lot of it's going down the middle, in terms of losing possession, again, middle of the pitch, we're not actually losing it in wide areas that much, which is it's peculiar. You think about the way it looks. There's obviously an emphasis on the centre. Of course there is. The system you play is very much like that. Have we made many mistakes today? We've made a few mistakes. Nothing that has gone really astray. And then passing, I mean, we'll take a look at, sort of, again, intercepted. Where's it going wrong? A lot of long balls from our back line, which aren't connecting with the forward line. Might be then something to think about. Change it to play the ball out of defence. I think that might be that might just be it. Something as simple as that might be the key. Right then, next episode is going to be an interesting one. It's going to have to be skipped forward a little bit. There's an international break. So in terms of transfers and whatnot, we'll talk about those next episode. What I'll do is bring you the end of the transfer window, go through a few bits and pieces. I'm still looking to bring people in. Again, continue to leave your suggestions in the comment section. And then what we'll do is we'll skip forward. We'll miss out the international break and come back for the Watford game, which will be next episode then. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please do leave a like on it. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. And we'll love with care from Let's Bench. Until next time, goodbye.